Politics, we are very lucky. We have the voter file. So all of that for every single state, we get a lot of information on every voter. We get their voting history, we get demographic data, we get assumptions. A lot of it's appended to the consumer file, so we can go even deeper. But for us, we kind of score audiences based on frequency of voting, recency of voting, and what type of person we can assume and what they do in the ballot box. And so first party targeting is very important to us, but we see that there's a cap to that. Privacy era of 2021, match rates and platforms have gone down significantly. And so there's only so much we can do on a one-to-one basis. When it comes to programmatic advertising, we have to rely on behavioral and contextual data, which is enriched with its own value. And we can rely on that to kind of fill the gaps and hit voters where they are, and maybe we're assuming things about them, but they're consuming content that tells us different.
So how does that work in terms of buying and working with the sell side, working with publishers and using your data?
Yeah, what we do internally at our company is waterfall based on priority. And so every campaign, every committee, every super PAC and independent expenditure unit needs to target different voters for different reasons. And so every media plan is highly customizable and very flexible and dynamic based on not only the results of the performance of the ad campaign, but performance of polling, offline data, voter turnout, and is adjusted sometimes on a daily basis, but definitely on a weekly basis. And so we'll create priority audiences, and that takes priority. So we used to do the traditional way of signing IOs, going publisher direct. We've really turned to SSP world and relying on an audience strategy and then finding the inventory that can supply that. And so we'll create ranks on inventory based on quality and cost, always wanting to maximize efficiency. So to find the cheapest inventory that's the highest quality, hitting the audiences that we want. And maybe for some audiences, we're willing to spend a little bit more to get there. But other audiences, we're not gonna spend a lot, and so we need to maximize cost efficiency. And so then publishers fall into these buckets where top of the tickets, where consumption habits are the most. So forced view on Hulu, or any type of publisher that's highly premium. Then we kind of go into the device category. And so going direct on devices like a Roku device or an LG device, and hitting audiences wherever they're consuming on that device because we have the relationship with that device team.
And what do you know about what's working? How do you know that?
Yeah, we're very lucky on politics to have polling data, and a lot of it. So any hot topic or any hot races, they're doing polling regularly, and they're polling by geo, they're polling by demo, they're polling by age group, and a lot of the polling questions ask, how are you seeing any content on this? Or where are you spending your time? How do you get the news? And so that can help inform media plans and where it should go. That helps inform what age groups we're losing or winning, what zip codes we're winning and losing. And so we use polling data as offline. Another piece of offline data that I love to use and my team uses is actual voter returns. So from the voter file, we can track in most geos absentee ballot returns or early voting. Someone voted early 2 months before. And so that's really important from a saving money. So we're not hitting people that already voted. And for people that requested a ballot, chasing them and spending more money to make sure they hand it in. And then make sure as resources dwindle and we get closer and closer to election day, we're chasing the people that haven't voted yet, and we're targeting smartly. Another thing that we do on the data side is automatic content recognition, so ACR data. We will, because digital is competing with linear budgets, we want to make sure that who we're talking to are the true cord cutters and not people who are dabbling in both, because linear buys are high frequency and hitting a small group of voters, and digital, we rely in our space to hit everyone else and be really smart about it. So ACR data has, in the last couple of election cycles, played a front row spot.
And in terms of media planning and investment, it's changed, hasn't it, with cord cutting and the changes in social and opportunities in out of home even. How has the media mix changed, and How's your investment strategy changed?
Yeah, I love this question because politics is the only vertical where linear buying is growing, which is crazy. You see consumption habits change every 6 months. More and more people are admitting in a Nielsen study or a ComScore study or showing that they are consuming more connected TV, OTT, digital type TV environments. But politics is behind, and our media matrices and our media allocations do not match actual consumption habits, which is frustrating as a digital buyer. But what we end up having to do is, once we get our budget and our allocation, we have to be really smart on the thousands, hundreds of thousands of placement types that we can choose between. So a great example, Facebook cut first party targeting. And so when it cut that, it changed how we do get out the vote campaigns because we can't target on a one-to-one basis and track ballot returns or early voting. And so Facebook dwindled in our media share. Google cut out all first party targeting for us in the political space. Other advertisers can do it, political operatives can't. And so that hurt a lot of our budget when we're trying to get really precise in who we're talking to. Audio still gets a really small percentage of the share, unfortunately. It shouldn't, considering how big podcasts and digital streaming on Spotify has become. But yeah, audio is small. Digital out of home we love, and for the reach that you can get at the cost that you can get, it's a highly efficient channel, and the device ID retargeting that you can do off that is also really, really great. But what takes center stage right now is definitely connected TV.